Now, this morning, the breakfast team picked their sports story of the day in partnership with Morrison's, and they took something of a longer look at Roger Federer, one of the greatest players of all time, retiring from top-level tennis after the Laver Cup here in London this month. This was a moment Federer called time on his career.
As many of you know, the past 3 years have presented me with challenges in the form of injuries and surgeries. I've worked hard to return to full competitive form, but I also know my body's capacities and limits, and its message to me lately has been clear. I am 41 years old. I've played more than 1,500 matches over 24 years. Tennis has treated me more generously than I ever would have dreamt, and now I must recognize when it is time to end my competitive career. The Laver Cup next week in London will be my final ATP event. This is a bittersweet decision because I will miss everything the tour has given me, but at the same time, there is so much to celebrate. I consider myself one of the most fortunate people on earth. I was given a special talent to play tennis, and I did it at a level that I never imagined for much longer than I ever thought possible. When my love of tennis started, I was a ball kid in my hometown of Basel. I used to watch the players with a sense of wonder. They were like giants to me, and I began to dream. My dreams led me to work harder, and I started to believe in myself. Some success brought me confidence, and I was on my way to the most amazing journey that has led to this day. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart to everyone around the world who has helped make the dreams of a young Swiss ball kid come true. Finally, to the game of tennis, I love you and will never leave you.
Wow, classy, wasn't it? Just as you'd associate with Roger Federer. 7 times Grand Slam doubles champion Jamie Murray paid his tribute to Federer.
What he did for the sport and the way he kind of played his tennis, how he won his championships and stuff, like, I think that's why he's maybe held in higher kind of regard than maybe the other guys to a lot of people. And I think that's just, that's what made him so special. Mm. And that's why people, traveled from all parts of the world just to come and watch him play. It was like a pilgrimage for many to come and see him play tennis.
So, Federer says goodbye, but what a career. I mean, Simon, has there been anybody like him? I know you're a huge fan, are you not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are people that have won more slams. And if you look at Djokovic and you look at Rafa Nadal, which formed that unique triumvirate of 3 players with Andy Murray just on the outside of it over the last 10 years or so, 15 years, they've both got higher win percentages over their careers with the 1,000 games that they've all played. I had lunch with Roger Federer in 2016, and I spoke to him about he coming back from a back injury, and he was coming back from surgery, and I made this observation about there seems to be a tacit acceptance from you that maybe Djokovic and Nadal are in a different place now, and that you're accepting defeats from them more regularly and with more seeming less robustness about accepting these defeats. And he said, well, okay, that's your view. The first tournament he played back after the back surgery was the Australian Open, which he won. He then won Wimbledon that year. So my observations were for the birds. But what I also saw, as a tennis player, I think he's without peer for his absolute technical brilliance and elegance on a tennis court. There is nobody that purrs across grass on a tennis court like Roger Federer. I've admired John McEnroe, I think was one of the greatest tennis players ever. I've looked across a litany of players, but Federer was like poetry in motion. And then you take him out of a tennis setting and you put him into a corporate environment and you watch him as a brand ambassador. And every sports person should listen and look at what Roger Federer exudes as a brand ambassador, as a person that you would want to have an advocacy for, because he is just world class. I sat there with him at a Netflix function once upon a time, listening to him speaking, and I thought, my God, this is what a superstar looks like, sounds like, and there must be every single brand in the world must be pulling his arm off at the shoulder to have anything to do with him. And then you listen to the retirement statement, and he embodies the whole lot. World class.
Totally. You haven't had lunch with him, Martin, have you?
No, I haven't.
We hear that Roger nodded off a few times.
I don't feel that I need to have had lunch with him to kind of see the value of this man. I do feel the announcement actually matches the class that he has, without doubt. About knowing, a top sports person, it's about knowing the right time to bow out. He's been beaten really by mother time and his body. A succession of injuries. There's 3 operations he's had now. Jim, Simon's used some of these words to describe him, but so elegant, so smooth, his technique. he just seemed to purr, and he just drifted across. And in an era when double-handed backhands became the order of the day, this guy, single-hand backhand.
Yeah.
He made tennis. I went to watch him play at Wimbledon. I thought I was watching table tennis. You know, the ball's up in the air, spinning into court. It's perfection. He's the all-time great. I think it's been a joy to see. It's a shame he's had to bow out, but boy, did we enjoy watching him play.
41. I mean, it's a hell of a career. I mean, you think Bjorn Borg retired at 25.
Yeah.
And you look at 26 and you think about it and you think, these players have had a hell of a career, but there is no doubt, absolutely no doubt, that he is right up there, if not, this much overused expression, a GOAT.
And it sounds almost too simple to ask it, Simon, but he's done it. How has he bridged the gap to being successful but still being liked seemingly by everyone?
Well, I think there was a wobbly period. I think in his early part of his career, he was not the same temperament as he is now, and it was talked very early.
Issues,
you can't waste energy on losing points. If you lose a point, move to the next point. It's the next point that counts. But it was also a period where he got in. It was the Roger Federer brand when he walked out and called everything was RF, and there was a feeling that he was getting just a little bit perhaps bigger than the sport.
From you, maybe, yeah.
No, but from lots of people around the tennis circuit as well. I spoke to a lot of tennis players and a lot of people inside the sport, and they thought, okay, but he corrected himself and righted himself, and it might just be envy and people suggesting that because they were envious of him, but he is just a very elegant, erudite, balanced individual. You know, I hate using the expression because they're overused. There is an element of humility about greatness. I think real greatness, when you got Muhammad Ali away from the television cameras, people that I know that have met him and spoke to him, there wasn't the braggadocio personality. There was somebody that knew how good they were and had a very self-confidence and elegance about him.
But he had a discipline issue, Jim, very early
when he was a kid, yeah.
Very early, and he learned to control that, and then he could learn to control the tennis ball. Nobody with better control than him and placement on a tennis ball.
Sounds like that lunch was a turning point for Roger.
I think he learned a lot from it.
he learned never to meet you for
never
lunch
to come
again.
anywhere near me again, yeah.
Brilliant. Roger Federer. Do you know what, Simon? It seems, again, almost too simple to say it. How classy was the announcement?
Oh, yeah. That's a proper grown-up announcement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything. He didn't miss. There's not one part of that did he miss on, did he, really?
Exactly. So Roger Federer calls time on his tennis career, but what a tennis career. That was our sporting story for today in partnership with Morrison's.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.